So we're going to let AI do its thing tonight and predict the outcomes of next Saturday's Elimination Chamber events. We don't have all the participants. We're doing this a bit early, but these aren't my predictions. We're going to AI. I know a lot of you enjoyed that the last time with some of the just insane predictions, impossible predictions that were made by AI last time, and we're going to go through what it believes next is going to happen at the Elimination Chamber outcomes, and also some a little bit outlandish predictions as well, because I did not just ask it who I think is going to win the matches next weekend, but also what some of the updated potential big returns for this year are. So we're going to go through that and see exactly how smart or not AI is. So welcome to the WWE podcast. We are going to be here for the next, 20, 30, 40 minutes, something along those lines, as long as it takes. And we're going to go through the AI stuff. But also I want to extend an invitation because we have a sale going on for the Patreon side that is ad-free, and it's only for the next week. And using the promo code CHAMBER will get you 50% off your first month at Patreon. So that ends soon, and then it'll be regular pricing for the rest of the season. So check it out, patreon.com/WWE podcast. I'm also going to be potentially traveling tomorrow and be back Saturday night. I'm not 100% on that. It depends on health of family members and some other factors. So I'm not sure if the mailbag will be tomorrow. Typically it is Fridays. But even if I don't, you guys know what I do. My rule is if I miss Friday, I will combine the mailbag and the weekend review on Sunday. So send in your questions. Mailbag at wwepodcast.com, or email me or message me rather directly in Patreon and get yourself priority placement in the show. So let's see how smart AI is. Let's see how far it's come. Let's measure its intelligence. And let's go with the first thing here. So I did ask it about specifically Elimination Chamber. Now I also have some other stuff, as I said. I also asked it about some bigger predictions for 2026, and it came up with some pretty wild stuff. So let's go to the chamber, and let's go, and I'm going to read you right from AI. This is ChatGPT. Use your model of choice. This is ChatGPT 5.2. I do have the paid version. I put on the thinking mode, not just quick answers, so I wanted to come up and try to reason out why it's giving me the answers that it is. So just to give you the model I'm using, there you go. So it says for CM Punk versus Finn Balor, again, this is for the World Heavyweight Championship. And it says, because WWE is already positioning Roman Reigns versus Punk for WrestleMania, that's the marquee direction. So Punk dropping here would be a hard left turn. It's predicting CM Punk defeats Finn Balor. Yes, I think this one is a slam dunk. If it had predicted Finn Balor, I wouldn't have been doing this show, because that would just tell me my confidence would just plummet. So that is good. I would concur with that. I would think right now that is the right move. My official predictions, of course, will be coming next week. But I don't see any reason why anyone should pick Finn Balor here. As I've mentioned with Finn Balor, if anybody's looking at this through the lens of could he win, you're looking at this match wrong. You need to look at it through the lens, because I've told you there's no option. So I demand that you look at it through the lens of what is this doing bigger picture for Finn? And hopefully the answer for you, if you're a Finn Balor fan, is putting him back in the main event, redefining Finn Balor from Judgment Day side quest and Judgment Day third wheel to, oh yeah, he can be a main eventer. And hopefully that's what we get. I think that's what we will. These two are going to put on a hell of a show. Okay, for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, it's saying that this feels that like AJ's momentum plus story heat, and it keeps the Punk AJ power couple aura rolling. I don't know why it added that. It has nothing to do with this. WWE's own preview frames this as a big revenge payback angle, which often screams controversial finish, which leads to a title change, which leads to a rematch later. So the outcome is AJ Lee defeating Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. That's not the worst prediction. I mean, there's only two. Either Becky retains or AJ wins. I could see that. The logic of controversial finish just because it's a big revenge and payback angle, that doesn't really compute, because there's a lot of revenge and payback angles that, depending on where you are in the program, are clean finishes and payoffs. And this one has been brewing for a while. They obviously had their tag team match with Seth and Becky versus Punk and AJ. But to see AJ Lee win here in Chicago, and it is in Chicago, does have some credibility. On the flip side, there are countless examples of WWE using a babyface's hometown to get heat, because it's the best place to get heat, especially in a big spot for a big title with a returning star that's beloved like AJ. You do have that opportunity as well. I mean, it depends on how you want to use it and what their plans are for WrestleMania. Most importantly, that is first and foremost. What is the plan for Mania? So I don't have a take on this yet in terms of my prediction, because I could be sold either way. I will obviously, as I said, have it next week. Now I will say their build has been horrific. I mean, I spent about 20 minutes hammering the segment on Raw, and even the week before was bad with AJ playing coy and cute. And there's just some force field around AJ that Becky Lynch cannot penetrate, and she has, she's shaking in anger, and she's just does some horrible acting. AJ Lee hasn't been exactly a star over the last couple of weeks. She hasn't really shined in a way that could be segment saving, but Becky Lynch has been otherworldly horrific the last couple of weeks. I don't know, and I'm guessing it's a combination of the creative given to her and her very piss poor execution, because it has been just piss poor. There's no other way to put it. And Becky Lynch is a star, though. She's still one of the biggest names in the company, and she's still a face of the women's evolution forever. No one could take that away from her, but at least for this particular last 2 weeks, wow. I mean, embarrassingly bad. But you want to hear my full rant on that, of course, you can go to my Raw review. Okay, let's continue and see how well we're doing here. We have the men's Elimination Chamber. Number one contender is going to face Drew McIntyre. So here's the logic before I give you the official prediction. It says WWE explicitly says the winner challenges undisputed WWE champion Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Cody is the cleanest, quote, WrestleMania-ready challenger in the field they've announced so far. If one of the two to be determined entrants is a mega return or mega push, that's the main way this changes. But their pick without any mega stars to return to fill the final two spots is predictably, safely Cody Rhodes. And I can't disagree with that from the perspective of it does seem to make the most sense. We have Cody Rhodes, who is the most WrestleMania ready guy. He has the most name recognition, the most value in WWE, specifically TKO, with how money hungry they are, just with no shame, want the biggest stars there. And it's WrestleMania, I get it. But you do want to make sure that the person you're putting in there, even if you're going to take a chance with somebody that's not a household name, is ready. And Cody Rhodes is certainly ready. He's proven himself over the last 3 WrestleManias with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and John Cena. So you can't go wrong here with Cody winning. Is it a matchup we've seen time and again over the last several months? Yes. But the more they work together, you would think the better their matches should become. And these two, I have nothing but respect for. Despite all of my criticism and harsh words for Cody that I take absolutely none of them back. I mean, every single word with the critiques I've made of his character. But as a man and as a actual wrestler inside the ring, he's excellent. Drew McIntyre, one of my favorites in the company right now, if not my favorite in the entire industry right now. So you put those two together, you have a very safe, very good main event. Now the key would be who wins. That's really the more interesting piece of this, is not who comes out of the chamber, because Cody is a heavy favorite with good reason. But what happens at WrestleMania with Cody and Drew? Again, assuming it's Cody. Well, is this an opportunity to really push Drew? He just won it a couple months ago. You want to give him some breathing room. Give him a staple victory at WrestleMania against a big name like Cody Rhodes. Cody right now is 2-1 at WrestleMania. He lost at WrestleMania. I'm sorry. What is he? Let me think. He beat Seth Rollins. He lost to Roman Reigns at 39. He won WrestleMania 40, and he won WrestleMania 41. So, 3-1. Okay, yeah, he's 3-1 in WrestleMania. So you don't really need to put Cody Rhodes over anymore. We know what he's like as champion. Sure, he hasn't been world champion yet, but we've seen him as champion. I think the much more interesting move here is to keep Drew champion. Now, I could be sold to have Cody as champion if the goal is to turn him heel. If the goal is to turn Cody Rhodes heel against Drew somehow at WrestleMania, I'm in. If not, and it's your standard Cody with the pocket watch and the stupid dog and the sunglasses and the tour bus, no. I've been there, done that. We know what it looks like. And I think it's, again, unfair to Drew. You need his championship reign to breathe. So that's my pick 2 months out now, assuming it's Cody. Again, things could be turned on their head. I mean, we could have somebody we're not even thinking of. We're all waiting on Chris Jericho. Could Seth Rollins interject? Like, lots of weird stuff, right? Okay. Now, for the women. The winner gets a title shot here. The logic is that WWE says the winner gets a world championship match at WrestleMania. And Rhea is the most, quote, built for the biggest match name among the currently qualified entrants. And Rhea Ripley wins. That's their prediction. Sure, I think you could have Rhea Ripley challenge for the women's championship. Now, on the Raw side of things, we do have Liv Morgan, who hasn't yet made her choice for WrestleMania. We have Raw not really decided yet. But the latest news about Bianca is she's undergoing surgery on her finger again. Now, is that a red herring? Are they putting out news to divert us? Yeah. I mean, they do that all the time. They probably leak stuff to people that are news reporting outlets for wrestling, and they leak it, and then it gets spread, and the fans are hopefully, in their eyes, eat it up, get distracted, buy it, and are diverted. And that does happen occasionally. So is this a diversion? Is Bianca actually getting surgery? Well, let's assume she is. And I mean, for whatever reason, her finger cannot heal. If Bianca's off the table for WrestleMania, which would be a shame, then you likely do have Liv choose Stephanie Vaquer. And I think that right now they've got something good going, especially after last week's segment. Stephanie was able to speak in her natural voice. It's Spanish, which most of us don't understand, but they had subtitles. There's ways around it. I like it. The other side of the coin is, okay, Rhea Ripley wins. That means that you're doing two things. One, you're pulling Rhea Ripley out of the tag team division in a way that's not adversarial with Io Sky. They will just amicably dissolve. There's no conflict. They don't fight. We don't need to see Rhea or Io fight. I don't need either one of them turning heel right now. And also, it gives Jade a hell of an opponent for WrestleMania. Somebody of equal stature, not in terms of muscle mass. I mean, we all thought Rhea Ripley was a jacked woman. Just look at Jade, right? I mean, she is the peak of what a female can achieve physically on this earth. So visually, it's a much more appealing opponent for Jade than any of her past opponents, just from a visual standpoint. Now, we all wanted Bianca because of the visual there. I have wanted Bianca since day one, just simply off of the superficial reason that they look alike. But I think Rhea would have a hell of a run with Jade, and actually could help Jade manage a matchup, a longer matchup, maybe help her out with some promos, guide her. Rhea Ripley is getting to the point of being a veteran. She's not green anymore. She's kind of in between of being, she's like an intermediate, an advanced intermediate. She's not an expert, right? Nor a legend, but she's transitioning into being that ring general type. So she could certainly help Jade, and it would be good for Jade. Do I think the promos would be good? No, probably not. We kind of know what we're going to get with Jade. But if Bianca's off the table, it gets Rhea out of the tag team division. Io's able to go her own way. There's no fight between Rhea and Io. No one wants to see that. You put Rhea back in the title picture. It's been a while, and I think fans are ready for it. And you give Jade an opponent that is WrestleMania worthy if Bianca's not available. Now, if Bianca somehow is able to put herself in this chamber match, well, then Bianca becomes the heavy favorite right away. So we still don't know the final two opponents for both men and women's chamber matches. So there you go. That's AI's predictions. Take them for what it's worth at the Elimination Chamber. So they're saying that AJ Lee is going to win the Intercontinental Championship. Cody Rhodes is going to win the chamber to challenge Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. And Rhea Ripley is going to win the women's chamber match to face likely Jade Cargill at WrestleMania as Liv takes on Stephanie Vaquer. So what other wild and crazy crap did the ChatGPT model spill out here? What kind of slop did it push out? So I asked it, just really, kind of off the cuff. I said, what are the biggest potential WWE returns in 2026? Now, if you recall the last AI show I did, one of the predictions it said was that Bray Wyatt was going to return. Yeah, it didn't give me a whole lot of confidence here that whatever source it's pulling from is a reputable source. But let's give it another try. Maybe ChatGPT was drunk. So here's what it says. Quote, pretty much in play, either announced, happening, or actively being built. Well, it says Brock Lesnar, but yeah, no shit. Brock Lesnar is going to be on Raw in like 4 days. So that's duh. AJ Lee, it says, at least acknowledges it that it's already happening. It says this one is basically already in motion. She's tied to a Becky Lynch title program heading into the Chamber season. Okay, fine. And at least is pulling from current sources. That's how you know. And Roman Reigns. Again, not interesting, very predictable, duh. And yes, he's already in the main event, WrestleMania. Okay, so at least it's not pushing out slop of telling me that it's going to bring back stars that are dead. So that's a low bar, but at least we start there. Okay, so a little more interesting predictions here. It says strong return window vibes, credible breadcrumbs not locked. Okay, so we get more interesting. But again, not earth-shattering. Seth Rollins. If you're asking who the big injured name return is, it's him. There have been reports well into 2026 timeline and more recent notes suggesting progress. Yeah, I mean, if that masked man is not Seth and it's not Grayson Waller, which I really hope it's not, then, it could be Chris Jericho, but also who's in the box that said don't open until 2/28. That could be Chris Jericho. That could be Seth Rollins. And I will say, the masked man, when he was smiling, there's fan video caught of the masked man in the crowd like smiling. Those aren't Seth Rollins' teeth. So unless they're just going to do they're doing a body double and it is going to be Seth anyway, this looked more like Grayson Waller. And if it's Grayson Waller, whoever's coming up with this masked man crap needs to be fired. It's gone on too long. And I will also second with Barbara Ray Dudley, who I don't agree with a lot of the time on a lot of stuff, but he brought up the point on Busted Open that the longer you go with the Masked Man build, the higher the expectation of the reveal, which is exactly true. You cannot go much further. If this is Grayson Waller, I mean, that should have been revealed within seconds. You don't go even a week of a build with Grayson Waller. It's got to be a high level name. It doesn't need to be a legend. I don't need it to be The Rock or Stone Cold. Like it just should be somebody that is in the higher tier of the company, returning, turning, whatever, or somebody coming up from NXT. What if it's a call up from NXT? There's that too. So those are a couple of predictions. Let me continue with the more interesting ones. So it says AJ Styles, and I know they're going to do there's some kind of retirement celebration for AJ in a week or two. That could be a setup for an AJ match, but let me just say this. If they bring AJ Styles back for a match at WrestleMania, I mean, I have no problem with that. We all know the caliber of a wrestler that he is. But I think it would take a little bit away from Gunther and what he accomplished in being that, you know, he's adding the AJ Styles trophy to his collection, and then AJ is able to come out of retirement and have another match. So I kind of feel a little bit split on that, if that is the setup for AJ to compete at WrestleMania, but we'll see. Okay. So let's continue. Chris Jericho. He's the classic Rumble surprise candidate, but the latest reporting muddies it. There's talk his AEW deal may be frozen or extended, which would obviously block a return until that's resolved. Well, we've been waiting for Chris Jericho for like 2-3 months now, and it has yet to materialize. And there's reports of things falling through and just WWE probably wanting to swerve fans. And I think it's a combination of factors. Maybe the money is not agreed upon, or we had one side agree and the other decided to change it last second. I mean, there's a multitude of things only the parties involved know, so we are just left here to speculate. Do I think eventually we'll see Chris Jericho before or at WrestleMania? Yes, I do. Okay, Naomi. This one depends on contract availability, but she's been a steady expected back name in the rumor ecosystem for a while. I'd label it possible, but not bank on it. That's fair. I think Naomi, with her, obviously having a child, is going to take some time, as she should, with her child, and see if wrestling is something she wants to come back to. They seemingly all do come back in one form or another. So I do expect Naomi, maybe by the end of this year, at the latest, to have some kind of return. And the thing is, for her, from a career standpoint, she was starting to really catch fire with that whole proceed with caution. She finally found her niche. She found herself, and she had to leave. Now, raising a child is infinitely more important than a wrestling gimmick on TV. But it does, from just, again, a pure lens of looking at this through professional career, it did stink because she was starting to really catch fire. So do I think we'll see her return? Yeah, I'd put this in the category of maybe as well. And again, probably earliest would be SummerSlam. Okay, here's the always possible but not reporting confirmed. Oh, God. Guess what it says? The Rock. It says there's constant chatter and could show up speculation around big events, but what's out there lately is largely speculation, not firm, quote, he's booked reporting. I mean, I don't need The Rock. I don't need one of his self-serving, I'm Dwayne playing The Rock segments, or his probably the biggest blunder of his career at WrestleMania 41 and the John Cena turn that he was involved in that we all know and I've talked about ad nauseum here of, well, I didn't want to be the focus of the story, yet I'm the biggest star in the company and really in the history of wrestling, if you want to put it in some people believe that. And yet it's not about me, and then I disappear for no reason and there's no payoff at WrestleMania. I mean, again, you couldn't design a worse payoff. I don't care who's to blame. It's Triple H or The Rock, or there's egos. There's clearly tension there, differing ideas, something falling through, somebody saying F you, Probably a lot of that. That'd be a fun Unreal segment to watch. But whatever the case, if The Rock's coming back and he's not back to actually see through a storyline, then get the hell out of here. I don't need you back as a one-off. If you're here to actually show up somewhat consistently to lead to something, great. Come on back. We'll boo the hell out of you, but it'll be fun. If not, sit home, drink your stupid tequila, and post your Instagram stories about working out at 5 a.m. All right. So, finally, not likely for a return these two are just silly, but it's AI, which is why I'm just going to tell you. It says Big E. Recent interviews indicate he's officially retired from in-ring competition, so a Big E return is basically off the board unless something dramatically changes, which is a shame. It's such a shame that Big E's career got cut short the way it did in a freak injury. Which, I mean, again, good thing he's not paralyzed or dead. That's number one. But for years, we speculated about a return. He'd be on the pre-show. Most recently involved with the heel turn of the New Day a year or two ago, which we thought was leading to something and led to absolutely nowhere, which was just inexcusable. But Big E had big potential. And yes, he became champion, but we felt like there was more. Outside of the silliness that his character constantly provided, there was a serious side to him that when he showed it, you saw what he could potentially become. And unfortunately, we'll never know. The last one it says is Ronda Rousey. She's publicly tied to an MMA return, which makes an immediate WWE comeback feel less likely. Well, let's hope so. One can only hope. I have more interest, and this is saying something. This is how little I think of Ronda Rousey in WWE as far as her return. I would be more interested in seeing the Bellas return, even as it was already presented. I'd rather watch that twice than watch a Ronda Rousey return. She is so unlikable to me as a person. I have, as a wrestler too, I thought she was very entitled. She had some really annoying quirks on the microphone. She disrespected the business multiple times on camera in podcasts. She is just a very self-serving, narcissistic person, and I have no use for her whatsoever. So let's keep our fingers crossed that this doesn't make her want to scratch the itch of returning to WWE, and hopefully she doesn't even have that itch. So she's got a bunch of MMA stuff going on. She has a return to MMA. I don't remember the name of the woman she's facing. I saw some quick thing on social media that I ignored because it's Ronda Rousey. But there you go. There's the slop that AI spills out for you. Some of it, I got to say, this isn't the worst AI predictions I've seen. As we heard the last time I did this show, some of it was just preposterous. This at least is grounded in some kind of common sense. So there you go. So I'll pause there. Appreciate everybody listening. Kind of a bonus episode of sorts with this AI infusion of predictions. And if you guys want to go ad free, patreon.com/WWE podcast. Again, I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow with the mailbag. If I'm not, I'll combine the mailbag with Sunday's Week in Review. And then we're off to the races next week with the Elimination Chamber. So get ready for that. Great time to join the show as well on Apple to go ad-free there, or on Spotify. You can go ad-free on that platform too. All right, everybody. I appreciate it. I'll be back maybe tomorrow, but definitely by Sunday. Until then, take care.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.